Hello. How are you guys doing? We are still on the path of transformation, right? What I want to talk to you about today is why are you not losing weight? What is going on? There are some reasons why you might not be losing weight, and I'm going to share them with you. All right, and I'm back. So I'm going to talk to you guys about today about why you wouldn't be losing weight. And I have notes so that I don't miss anything. So the number one reason, the most obvious, is you're eating too much. This can be an issue for everybody and anybody, but you could be eating all the healthy food that you want. But what happens is that you end up overeating anyways. So even though the food that you're consuming is super healthy, you may be having too many calories for the lack of calories that you're putting out. So calories equals energy. And if you are eating too many calories, your body's just going to store that as fat for later on. And that's our bodies are always, trying to figure out survival. And so if you're giving it too much food, it's going to store what you're not using as fat for possible famine later on in life. So that's just the way it works. And often what happens now, menus are fairly good at writing down how many calories are per on your plate or whatever. But when you go out to eat, you might be thinking, well, I'm going to have the salad, I'm going to have the chicken, whatever, because it's super healthy and it's good. But what happens is those could be loaded with some hidden calories, either in the sauces, in the way that it was cooked, in whatever they're putting on it or in it. So you have to be really aware of that. So a really good thing to do to make sure that you're not overeating is to really write down what you're having and keep track. You don't have to track your food forever because that can become a nuisance. For some people, they love tracking their food, so it's fine. And there's all sorts of really cool apps you can use now to track your food. But an idea is to at least track food for like a week or two, and then bring it to a reputable coach. Or if you're looking at it yourself, you got to make sure that enough food is coming out, enough calories are coming out of the activity that you're putting in. So if your job requires you to sit all day long and you're not doing any activity that day, you might have too many calories for that day where you're not putting out any energy. So that is the number one reason is people are overeating, and sometimes you're doing it without even realizing it. It could be hidden in the drinks that you're having, the smoothies that you're having. If you're having quite a few coffees and you add cream to them, the cream isn't bad for you, but if you're having 6 creams in a day, all of a sudden you're adding in I think that's probably about 300 calories. So that's a lot of extra calories that you may or may not be burning. Now, if you're super, super active, you're good to go. Usually you can have quite a bit more calories. Also, age plays a factor in there here. Sorry to tell you, but once we turn 40 and over, our bodies really slow down for us. Lucky us. Again, unless you're super, super active and you can afford to eat a big amount of calories, usually for the most part, and let's say we're talking women here, age plays a major factor in how much you can eat. What you could eat when you were 16, 17, 18 had a major slowdown. Usually we see that slowdown at about 20 when we're coming out of high school, going into college, living that college life, university life. It also has to do with a little bit less healthy lifestyle that a lot of people adopt when they turn about 20 years old. But you're going to see a slowdown. And then usually it kind of settles itself in and you can find, you kind of figure it out. But then again, it happens again around 40. I'm 41. I totally, absolutely notice it where I was able to be a lot more relaxed with my diet before. Now I have to be pretty much on point. I do allow myself weekends that are really relaxed for my eating. But I do have to be on point during the week. And, that's kind of the law of eating as well, is you want to do kind of an 80-20. So you want to eat 80% of the time really healthy, really well. You want to count those calories and then give yourself 20% to just kind of, if you're going out or your family or whatever, and you want to enjoy something. But that is one of the reasons people don't lose weight. weight is that they don't look at even the hidden calories, where you might be having just 5 crackers, but those 5 crackers may contain 100 calories. So you need to look, you need to label read, you need to really, using an app for a few days does really help. Measuring your food and weighing your food as well is really important, because you might be thinking, well, I'm just having 1 tablespoon of nut butter, but next thing you know, when you're dipping in your knife or your spoon in the jar and it's coming out, it is way more than 1 tablespoon. When you measure it out, you'll really realize that 1 tablespoon of nut or seed butter is very small amount. Same thing with when you're eating nuts or seeds. We take a handful. That handful can easily contain 200 to 300 calories if you're not being careful. So that's why at first you do have to count that stuff out. If weight loss is a goal of yours and you're wondering why you're not losing weight, these are some of the reasons right there. Same thing with dips, when it says 1 tablespoon, you actually have to measure that out. Salad dressings as well. Those are all reasons why you may not be losing weight, because the little bit of extra adds up. So it might just be like an extra 20 calories, but then an extra 20 calories and an extra 20. At the end of the week, if you have consumed 10,000 calories, but you have only burned 8,000 calories, you're now looking at a weight gain as opposed to a weight loss. I mean, science is science. There has to be a calorie deficit for you to lose weight. So number 1 reason why you're not losing weight, you are overeating, even if it's healthy food. Number 2 reason why you are not losing weight, what did I write down here, is the complete opposite, is you are not eating enough. So all of you who have yo-yo dieted, went on super low calorie diets, are cardio queens out there. Absolutely nothing wrong with it, but you need to feed your body for what you're doing. So if you have yo-yo dieted through quite a few times, you may have totally slowed down your metabolism. So that's an easy fix. Again, finding a proper coach, which you could DM us, PM us, email us, and everything's going to be in the box at the bottom. We totally help with that. We do help kind of restabilize your metabolic rate and kind of get your metabolism going again. You need to kickstart it. And there's ways to do that. But if you don't eat enough, your metabolism may have totally slowed down, because again, our body is this amazing machine that wants to keep us alive. And when it thinks it's starving and it's not sure when it's getting its next meal, it will slow everything down. And that comes from our ancestors for times of famine, or if hunting was bad, or if it was winter and there was less food. So our body does go in survival mode and totally slows down, you guys. And that's why not eating enough is another huge factor. Yo-yo diets will have killed your metabolism. And if you are a cardio queen and you love your cardio, and that's okay because it is really good for your heart, but if you are spending hours on cardio equipment and you're not eating enough, it could totally be that your body is just holding on to everything because it knows that it's going to have to do all this work for an hour or 2 during the day. And that's another point that goes in here with not eating enough, is too much cardio and the same activity all the time. Our bodies adjust really, really well to what we're doing. So if every day you are jogging for 1 hour and you're always kind of at the same pace, always on the same treadmill, always the same route or whatever, your body will adjust to that. It's still really good because you're getting activity, you're getting your heart pumping, but your body just finds it easy now, and it's not an exercise really for it. So you want to maybe even switch it up. You could keep doing it, but maybe you want to do intervals, or you want to add some hills in there. You want to change you just got to change something. So often too much cardio, not enough food is a huge reason why you may not be losing weight. So you're eating too much or you're not eating enough. And you need a really good coach, you guys, to help you through that. Even if it's just like a 1 hour session of let's dig in the pile, find out what's going on with you and get it right. Coaches are there for you. And remember, I say this all the time, a really good coach should be able to explain to you exactly what they're doing, why they're doing it, and why they're feeding you the food that they are feeding you, and why they're recommending the food plan that they're recommending. And nobody should be just like, no, it has to be one way. There is no one way of doing anything. It should fit your lifestyle. It should be something that you're happy with, something you could live with. There are ways to lose weight on low carb, on keto, on paleo, on vegan, vegetarian, well-balanced diet. There is all these ways to get the body and the shape and the health that you want. It does not have to be one thing. And if your coach can't see that and can't help you with that, I strongly suggest that you look elsewhere for somebody who fits your goals and somebody who fits your lifestyle. Okay, so anyways, that was my little shout out. So number 3, you haven't been dieting long enough. If it a year to gain the weight that you've gained, or it took you 9 months of pregnancy, because your post-pregnancy body will take time to go back, because you took time to put on that weight and you took time to alter the way that your body is looking, feeling, and your health isn't at 100%. You're going to have to diet for more than a week. You're going to do a week of dieting or changing your food plan. Let's not say just dieting. It could be just a lifestyle change. And you're going to see some changes, but for those changes to keep on going, you have to keep at it. It's going to take time. And for it to be sustainable, it's going to take enough time. You have to give yourself those weeks, those months, that year to achieve what you want to achieve. And it's never really ending, you guys. A diet should not have a start point and an end point. It may have a start point and an end point of like a kickstart, like something that, to get you going. But once that time is up, there should be a follow-up plan. And again, if you have a really good coach, they can explain all this to you, because it should not just be, a 5-week diet or a 6-week diet or a 12-week diet. It doesn't last for just that amount of time. Yes, you may have a very specific goal, and you may have a really good kickstart. So you may say, give yourself a very short-term goal. So you may say, in these 4 weeks, I want to lose 10 pounds. And that's totally doable with the right food coach. That's totally doable, but after those 4 weeks, you have to have a plan. You can't just go back to what you were doing, because it obviously then you go into the yo-yo dieting, and you're going to gain the weight back, and then you're going to try to lose it again, and it's going to become harder and harder on you. All right, so number 1, you're eating too much. Number 2, you may not be eating enough. Number 3, you may just not have been doing it long enough. That's all. You have to give yourself some time, and you have to be consistent, you guys. So you can't have 2 days of really good eating and then a third day where you're having pizza and cake and ice cream and wine and whatever. You have to give yourself some consistency. Once you've gotten consistent and once your body is responding to what you're doing, then you're going to be able to have a little bit more of the maintenance phase, where you're going to be able to maintain what you've achieved. And that is all done so precisely. And so actually, it's super easy if you know what you're doing and if you have the right food coach. You got it. All right. And number 4 is another really big one, you guys, and that is genetics and hormones. Genetically, you may be holding more weight in your upper body, you may be holding more weight in your lower body, and you may be just holding weight everywhere. That is genetics. So it depends. So wherever you gain and hold your weight the most is going to be the last spot where you lose it. You also can't spot reduce. So if you hold weight in your belly, you can't just do a belly wrap, and you can't just do sit-ups, and that's going to cure the belly fat. That's not going to work. You have to actually have a whole lifestyle around it, and your belly will shrink, and we will get it there, and that's not an issue. But genetically, you may just hold your weight in that one spot where you're looking at it and you're going, ew, like it's driving me nuts, and I only hold weight there. That's genetics, you guys. That's just the way it is. You just have to keep on trucking. That's when you have to keep on with your food plan, and you have to stay consistent. And I promise those spots where you hold weight will eventually reduce. Okay. And then of course, if you are training and you're building some muscle and you're tightening everything up, it will shape your body a lot better than if you're not. And if you're just doing cardio. If you're just doing cardio, you're going to get that, what I call skinny fat look, where you will shrink, but you'll stay soft and you won't have much shape to your body. So if you do a little bit of weight training in there or strength training or whatever kind of training you want to do, but you want to switch it up, you will see the results of shaping your body a lot better than if you're just doing cardio and just dieting. So that's for genetics. Now, hormone wise, that's a whole other story. And, there are some great people who can help you with that. You should get it checked. If you really feel like you're not losing weight, if you really feel like you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing, it could definitely be, your estrogen might be super high. You may have really high cortisol. If you're doing everything that you're doing, but you have some major stressors in your life, that could be a reason why you're holding on to weight or actually gaining a little bit of weight. Cortisol kills any hormones that help you lose body fat. So if you have any stress, it is totally normal that you may gain a little bit of weight or that you may stay at the same weight and not able to lose it. So for that, you would want to just kind of get some extra sleep, try to find 5 to 10 minutes where you could just kind of let go and relax. Make the changes you need to make. Keep on trucking though, stay with it, and it should get better. Otherwise, if it's more of an issue of girl hormones like estrogen and stuff like that, you may want to look at what in your life is causing you to have higher estrogen. So you may want to reduce plastic bottles. You may want to reduce cheap skin cream and stuff like that. That is full of synthetic estrogen, and that actually causes our bodies to go higher in estrogen. And then you may want to consult with a really good doctor near and around you. I don't mean a medical doctor. I would look more into somebody who is a little bit more in the holistic side, somebody who will really actually look at the hormones, because there is a chart and you may be at the bottom of the chart, but you want to be more towards the top of the chart as opposed to the bottom. And if you're going to see just a medical doctor, not all medical doctors, but some of the medical doctors, if you're at the bottom of that chart, they'll tell you you're okay, but you're not, because you're not optimal. You know your body best, so you should know it. Don't let somebody else tell you that it's normal. If you are not feeling your best, it's not normal. It is not normal to be tired every day. It is not normal to be feeling awful. Those are all things that you need to feel good. And part of it might just be your mindset. And so you got to get a right mindset. You have to believe in yourself, and you have to have the right mindset to get yourself healthy and feeling fantastic. But there is also part of you that knows if your body is not feeling the way it should feel. And then I would definitely consult with somebody who's really good, kind of put out a feel out there. There's going to be some people who'll give you some great recommendations. I'm sure if you're here in Sudbury, I always recommend the Martin Clinic. I think they're absolutely fabulous for that stuff. They check everything thoroughly. They have really great products, and they can really help you out. So if you're in the Sudbury area, I always recommend the Martin Clinic. It does take time to get in and see them, but it's absolutely worth the wait. So that's a number 4. Did I miss anything? I just want to make sure I am actually covering everything, you guys. So number 5, which is it happens if it's not number 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're down to number 5, you may actually just be at a stall. So you may be doing everything right, and you may be on a great weight loss journey. You are exercising, you're doing your cardio, you are eating healthy, you're feeling fantastic, and bam, all of a sudden, after 20 pounds lost or 10 pounds lost, your body just ain't moving. Well, again, here comes a really good coach. If you have a really good coach, or if you don't, you may want to look into it. Just even if it's just for a couple sessions or just a quick coaching session with someone, is to figure out why you have stalled. And it could be anything from just having to change up your cardio, to just having to change up your calorie deficit, to even just having to feed you some extra there is so many factors that can come into a stall. You're going to look first at your activity. If you've been doing the exact same things all over and over again, you may just want to switch it up. You may want to add a little bit of time to your cardio. You may want to add a little bit more intensity. And you may want to just reduce your calories just a tad more to see where you're at. And remember, I always advocate nothing lower than 1,200 calories. there are some very special circumstances when you would be under 1200 calories, but I truly, truly believe that you need to at least feed your body the 1200 calories that it needs for everyday function. I really feel that under that, you are slowing down your metabolism, you're causing some damage, and it's not optimal for lifestyle change. There are other times when that may be not true. But for a lifestyle change and just an overall healthy glow, feeling fantastic, you want to be eating at least 1200 calories. I have some really active girls that I work with right now that are eating anywhere from 18 to 2002 calories per day. And my average women that I work with are at about 1400 calories a day. Some are a little bit lower, some are a little bit higher. Everybody's different. And again, that's where I come at. You need a coach, you guys. Even if it's that one-time session to kind of just go in there with you, get it all done, get it all figured out, get you on the right path, and then you get going. And if everything's going smoothly, perfect. And then if you have a little hiccup, you can consult with your coach again and make sure that your coach can answer all your questions, fit it into your lifestyle, is listening to you, and is adjusting where it's needed. So I think that's it for today. I need to be doing a check-in, but I had too much food on the weekend and it's March break, but I'm going to, I will do a check-in. I'm thinking Wednesday morning, we're Monday today. So look for that and we'll chat soon. You guys have a most wonderful day and get on the right path. Check the comment box for all my ways to get a hold of us and different programs that we're advocating, and we will help you out. Take care, guys.